You're tuned in to the Foxboro BeatCast, a podcast for Patriots fans by Patriots fans. And here are your hosts, is Kaleb McChesney and Ryan Moore.
Hello and welcome to the Foxboro BeatCast, everybody. I am your host, Kaleb McChesney. Alongside me, my co-host, Ryan Moore, as usual. Not a ton of cool stuff to talk about today. The Patriots once again. Oh, I totally forgot. Ryan, how are you this fine week? As I just dive right into the intro, like God, just get it over with.
Well, listen, man. This fucking weekend sucked. It was bad. No, it's back-to-back weeks of like I have nothing to look forward to talking about today, man. It's awful.
Yep, and every fan that's watching, I know, is wondering, how is Kaleb going to, push the optimism and the look ahead and get pumped about this weekend versus the Raiders? And I will try my best, but as Ryan can attest to, it's not easy to come back from two losses by like 35 or more, or whatever the hell the stat is. 72-3 over the last two games. Thank you. But yeah, so let's just dive right into it. The Patriots once again losing to the New Orleans Saints, a talented team, and that we thought this was going to be a tough game, but the Patriots would, the Dallas game would be kind of a fluke, a bit of an aberration of the norm. It turns out that this could be a little bit more normal than we thought with this incident. 34-0. Mac Jones, not great. 122 yards, 2 picks. I think he had a fumble too. Replaced by Bailey Zappi late in the third quarter, and God, Bailey Zappi cannot play football. I don't know if we watched that garbage time, but he can't throw a pass. He simply can't. He's not it. Patriots fans. Bailey Zappi, not your guy.
No, Zappi sucks.
Trying to think of other notes that we could really talk about here. I thought our defense early on, as usual, pretty solid. We were solid in the run defense. The pass game a little bit hit or miss, but that's to be expected when your first round cornerback goes down for the year. No new injuries as far as I'm concerned. I think that we made it out of New Orleans game with a fairly clean slate of health. But yeah, let's just dive right into it. There's got to be something that we could take away here from this Saints game, whether it be positive or negative, or just something we noticed. Ryan, I'll let you kick it off.
Well, the offense is a tire fire. There's no other way to really put it. And I don't know how many people really value. There's a metric called EPA per play. It's an analytical thing. Basically,
explain it to the people.
It basically means how efficient your offense is.
Okay.
So New England is dead last in rushing efficiency and in passing efficiency in the entire NFL. They're worse than the teams like tire fires like the Giants, the Bears. I mean, the Broncos have been fine offensively. I won't bring them up. But think of any just god-awful, unwatchable pile of shit offense, and New England is worse than them right now.
In all metrics.
Yeah. And you watch them, it's like it's just a mess. Guys don't know how to block. Like what's Clem coaching them? We were talking about Adrian Clem in the offseason. Like, okay, what's he gonna?
I said that he was the second most or third most important factor on this offense behind Bill O'Brien and Mac Jones. It was Adrian Clem.
Yeah, and what? Like, I'm sorry. What kind of job are you doing here? These guys suck. Even like Onwenu, who's their best lineman, and David Andrews.
There's the note. Mike Onwenu got hurt in the game.
Yeah, I think he's fine. It was a precautionary pull.
I don't think he practiced yesterday.
It is a walkthrough, so I mean.
Okay. Well, that's something to notice. He did not finish that game.
Oh, he might not be playing at 100%, but they pulled him because of precautionary. even those guys aren't really playing their best football. Trent Brown, I mean, fuck, you gave this guy a pay raise, and he's been terrible. Yeah. Antonio Maffi, someone I was actually looking forward to as a rookie. He's been awful. Riley Reef, you bring him in, he hasn't been good. It's just been Vidarian Lowe is what, like, I'm trying to think of just the linemen right now. That these guys aren't good. None of these guys are really NFL quality guys right now. Like, even like David Andrews, like, and Onwenu are like playing like well below what they should be playing at. You know, these are two pillars in the middle, and they're not really doing their jobs as well as they could be doing. That fucks up the entire flow of the offense. And then you got the receivers, man. I'm sorry. I thought the whole stink stank stunk stuff was harsh, but it's none of you guys have really, taken the reins. None of you have stepped up. Demario Douglas has been a revelation. Well, he just got concussed and he's been iced out of the offense at times, because of the whole fumble versus Miami that he fumbled, I believe so.
I think he fumbled against Dallas too.
Yeah. And yeah, ball security is an issue, of course. But if he's your only consistent playmaker and you're intentionally icing him out, you're already your offense is already shit. And you're leaving out the one potential spark plug that can actually get you going. And now he's hurt. So probably missing this week versus Vegas. It's just awful.
Another note on the receivers, Juju Smith-Schuster probably should, if he wasn't getting paid $60 million guaranteed, he'd be cut.
Yeah.
He's been bad.
Yeah. And I do genuinely wonder, and you and I brought doubt to the Breer report.
Nope, there might be something there.
Yeah, sorry, Albert Breer. You're right.
I'm not.
You're probably right. Juju does not look like, he doesn't have any juice in him. Like, he doesn't, looks like he's running like me out there with the most due respect.
And Jacoby Myers in Vegas is looking to have a career year.
Yeah, not great. Now, I will say, how many more games does Jacoby Myers win the Patriots? I don't know.
No, the problems are much bigger. It's a systematic problem. And and I'm going to bring this right to the quarterback here. This is where everything kind of explains itself here. Mac Jones, it put him in San Francisco. He's pretty solid. He's playing at least Brock Purdy ball. Here, he's a system quarterback. You drafted him here to play your system, and with Josh McDaniels as your OC, looked like that was pretty much what he was going to do. The system has utterly collapsed on the offense from the top to the bottom. They're not blocking well. They can't run the ball. The receivers don't know what they're doing. It's the foundation of the offense is not only cracked, it has collapsed. It has sunken into itself. The system itself is broken, and I don't know how you come back from that. Not only as a quarterback, but as a team. When there's something this structurally wrong, and you go from Dumb and Dumber, Matt Patricia, and Joe Judge running the operation at a poor level, and then bring in a professional offensive coordinator like Bill O'Brien, a highly regarded and highly respected coach in the world of football. And this is what's happening. You are worse than what you were last year. We wish we had last year's offense right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this team can come back from that.
Well, can I just say, and this is something I've noticed. This team has no alphas. They don't have a guy that can spark a fire. And
Judon was it.
Yeah. They don't. Because when you look at, and I'm sorry, it's unfair to compare anything to the Brady years, but hear me out here. Whenever shit would go wrong in New England under Brady, like the Kansas City game in 2014, you know what helped spark that turnaround? Having a room full of fucking alphas that were like, we're not going to tolerate this shit. This
Just to list off the players that you're kind of referencing here. Obviously,
like
you have
Brady, Edelman,
Edelman, Gronk, Ninkovich, Vince
McCourty.
Wilfork, Hightower, Collins,
McCourty.
Spikes was there, McCourty, Revis, Browner. Yeah, a lot
All
of
guys.
yeah.
All dogs.
On the offensive line too, you had Solder, you had who else? Who was playing on the inside?
Vollmer.
Vollmer
was there.
Running backs.
I like Ryan Lindell a lot.
LeGarrette Blount.
Blunt came in later, but yeah. There, the whole room was full of dogs. In New England, I don't see anybody that can say that can step up and say, "Hey, we're not tolerating this shit." It looks like a bunch of guys that are checked out. And you look at the energy in the field; everybody just looks. It looks like a walk in the park kind of like just atmosphere.
It looks like it's like when you tell your child to do a chore.
Yeah, like it looked like me out there when I used to play hockey as a kid, and I hated it, and I would like just lackadaisical skate out there. Like nobody wants to be a Patriot right now. Nobody wants to go out there in the field. It might be when nobody wants to be a Patriot in the sense of like, oh, no players want to play. It's nobody is playing with fucking pride. It's just a bunch of guys getting rinsed. And I know it sounds harsh, but it's the fucking truth. We're watching just a bunch of no-shows. It's just terrible, man.
It's frustrating.
And I don't know how it's gonna get better, like honestly, because it's like
it's intangible.
If you would have thought that last week pride would have kicked in. Instead, you got pants even harder.
It's intangible, really. There's no player that you can bring in. There's no coach that you can bring in. It's like the sweatshirt says, nobody's coming. It's up to us, as much as that's a stupid sweatshirt. And Joe Judge should be left out of all creative ideas ever.
Oh, can I just bring up a Joe Judge, by the way?
Go.
A lot has been said about his coaching abilities as an OC and all that stuff. They moved him back to special teams to help with Cam Accord, or whatever his name is.
Cam Accord, yeah.
Cam Accord, yeah. He's a scrub anyway. 32nd ranked special teams via DVOA, another efficiency stat.
So
they have the
can you
special teams of football.
Again, assuming that this crowd isn't as analytical as maybe you or I, could you kind of explain what goes into DVOA and how this relates to the Patriots special teams?
Well, it's essentially how efficient your units are. And so if
in special teams directly, we're last.
Yeah, we're last. Dead last. And last year we were dead last too.
And last year was horrible. We had a lot of blocked kicks. We had a lot of blocked punts, bad punts.
It's terrible. And I know you brought in 2 rookies, but like Chad Ryland, big legged kicker, he's been inconsistent. Bryce Behringer.
He had a couple of punts on Sunday off the side of his foot.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a guy with a booming leg that's going to come in. He's going to flip the field. And he's been inconsistent. It's been kind of like Jake Bailey all over again, where
the late years of Jake Bailey, not the good first rookie year where he looked like a Hall of Fame talent and a punter.
Yeah, he looks like garbage. And at that point, it's coaching, because you got 2 guys with booming legs, really good legs, but their fundamentals are sloppy, and it's causing them to have shanks and just overall downright poor, kicks. And you look at the special teams unit in general, like Matt Slater can only do so much. What are the other guys doing on special teams in terms of coverage? It hasn't been all that great either. If you're 32nd, it's for a reason. It's not just kicking and punting. It's, it's how you attack the field and all that stuff as gunners. They've been terrible. It's just bad. It's bad football. It's bad football across the board. And I feel bad for the defense. I saw something today that the defense is getting frustrated by the offense. And that's a report. I forget who it's from. It was I promise I'm not making this up.
I'll go find the source for you.
Yeah, but the defense is really getting frustrated. The offense here. It might have been Jeff Howe, by the way, Caleb. I think it might have been Howe.
Yep, Jeff Howe. Yesterday, this morning. The rumor is the Patriots defense is growing increasingly frustrated with the team's offense. Per Jeff Howe, New England is averaging 10.6 per game through 5 weeks. It's the worst in the NFL, obviously. And then obviously there's going to be an article that we talk about a little bit later.
Yeah. That says it all. And I will say the defense, there are dogs there. There are guys that play with heart.
Bentley.
But it's going to get to a point where the dam breaks. Where guys are on the defense are going to tap out and say, listen, we're doing everything we can. And at this point, our season is kiboshed. We can't do shit. Why should I try out here? Like, why should I care? And it's bleak, man. It's so goddamn bleak to think about just how awful this team is because of basically one unit. And obviously the special teams as well, but like the offense is the most important reason why this team sucks.
You can get over bad special teams.
Yeah.
You can't with offense.
I mean, the 2010 Chargers might digress, but yeah, it's just terrible. I'm at a loss of words at this point because it's like how else can we describe it? Shit, tire fire, abysmal, a fucking nightmare to watch on Sundays. Like I don't know.
No, it's become
garbage.
It's like, become a chore to watch this team every Sunday.
Yeah, it's to the point where I'd rather turn on like Red Zone or something and watch a real football team.
Oh, dude, believe me. On Sunday, I think it was at halftime, I put NASCAR, the playoffs on the TV, and then I had the Patriots game on my laptop, and I would just kind of peek, look.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Not to destroy my credibility on this podcast 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 episodes in, but
I'm sure a lot of Patriots fans are doing the same, and I don't blame them.
It's bad. Again, the only solace that I can really give you before we move on is that it's week 5. It's still fairly early in the season, and things like this can be turned around with a big win. They can. I'm not saying that this team is a playoff favorite, that you're going into the later parts of the year feeling like you can win the division, maybe not even make the playoffs, truthfully. You might be looking at maybe, if you have a really good stretch at the end, a solid outside of the wild card finish. You're playing for pride. But it's week 5 going into week 6. There's no X behind the team that says you're eliminated from the playoffs, try again next year. No more coins available, the yada yada yada. You know all the cliches. It's still pretty early in the season. We're probably about we're about a third of the way through at week 6. So you're gonna have to be near perfect down this stretch. You got the Raiders, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Commanders, the Colts bye week. It's not easy. It's not an easy stretch here. But you can we've seen it. The momentum of the game can turn around just like that. You've dug yourself a hole. But it is week 6. And with that, let's get right into kind of the meat of our discussion here today on the BeatCast. The story in town lately is quarterback Mac Jones and head coach Bill Belichick. Both of them kind of equally. Who's to blame? What's going on here? Do we throw one of them out of town? Do we throw both of them out of town? I'm kind of sick of the Mac Jones conversation. We've done it 300 times now. We kind of know where we sit, and there's no point in really talking about it. We both agree that no, Mac Jones has not played up to the level that we want or need him to or expect him to. And B, Bailey Zappi does not deserve a start. So with that, let's talk about Bill Belichick. We have not talked a lot about Bill Belichick on this podcast and his role, what the blame is, yada, yada. You know the drill. You know, I'm not a big blame game guy, but these are the things that are being talked about. Let's just talk about it. So we've got to talk about 6-time Super Bowl champion head coach Bill Belichick. One's an architect of legendary rosters and a conductor of game plans that would stump the best of quarterbacks like Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger. List goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Best offenses of all time. The greatest show on turf, the 2018 Rams, the Donovan McNabb T.O. Eagles. A lot of great teams that Bill Belichick has stumped over the years, and credit where credit is due. But since 2020, the departure of Tom Brady, the opposite has rung true. The Patriots hold a record of 26-29 since week 1 of 2020. There's enough of a sample size here to definitively say Brady's presence has been sorely missed since the day he left on the St. Patrick's Day of 2020. Belichick now is 18 wins away from tying Miami head coach legend Don Shula and his record for the most wins of all time by a head coach. So here's where we pick up our conversation. Is Belichick truly on the hot seat? Will he be able to pass John Shula's record by the end of next season, and will he do it in New England? Let's talk about what the future holds for the 72-year-old head coach and what his role is in the Pats' current state, future state. And maybe we do a little bit of an evaluation of what's got us to this point. So, Ryan, I know that you have some pretty, I don't want to say strong thoughts, but well-articulated thoughts, and you brought your sources, you brought your numbers, let's have it. Let's see it.
So, first, I would like to use just an article from Jeff Howe. It says,
and this Jeff Howe article was released today on The Athletic. If you guys have,
I'm not going to read the whole thing, obviously, because Jeff Howe does great work. Go check his stuff out. It's his article. It's the headline. If you think the Patriots owner Robert Kraft wouldn't fire Bill Belichick, you're wrong.
There's a strong headline.
That's a scorcher. So he brings up in the article that when Robert Kraft first hired Bill Belichick in the year 2000, that's the year I was born, long time ago, it's 23 years, he was enamored with two primary attributes. It was Belichick's brilliant defensive mind that he showcased while on New England's coaching staff during the Bill Parcells years, and how innovative Bill Belichick was with the brand new salary cap system at the time. Well, 23 years later, where are we at now? He brings up in the article, Belichick has failed to evolve.
We've said that countless times.
Yeah. They haven't invested in big-time receivers, as is brought up in the article.
We've been complaining about that. Yep. Keep it going.
And here's the point I really want to bring up, because bringing up the receivers part is, one thing. But I also want to bring up as well in the draft how you can actually fix that problem without. So here's the thing. The Patriots under Belichick's watch have also struggled to draft and develop talent. Punter Jake Bailey, a 2019 fifth-round draft pick, was the last in-house selection to get a multi-year contract extension, and he was cut 7 months later. 4 other players got similar extensions in previous 4 seasons, all of them 4th or 5th-round selections. It goes on and on, talking about how other teams have built around their quarterbacks and all that stuff. I'll let you read the article, others read the article. But the last paragraph is just a scorcher. He says, now they're second to last in point differential, turnover differential, and current possession of 5th pick in the 2024 NFL draft. An indication of how far they got to climb if they got any designs of being relevant this winter. Based on their lack of execution in the first 5 games, there's little evidence to suggest a marked turnaround is imminent. And Kraft has long since gotten sick of watching other teams' highlights on his news scoreboard. So when we talk about that draft and develop part, I'm going to pull up the New England Patriots draft records from 2017 onwards, because I think that's when the most concerning trends started.
And I think it's a good number, because guys from the 2017 draft that you drafted high end should be staples of this franchise now. Guys who got second deals.
Yep.
This would be the early set of those second deals. Let's see the players that we have that we should be building around right now.
The 2017 draft, with the 83rd pick in the 3rd round, the New England Patriots select Derek Rivers.
Now at edge rusher in Houston, depth didn't really ever play here.
And you know what? I can't really. You kind of lament his career because he's had so many knee issues. He's always really talented and upside. Who the Patriots could have had with that pick? Wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Chris Godwin.
Big miss.
Yeah. With the 85th pick in the 2017 NFL draft, the New England Patriots select Antonio Garcia, tackle. Now,
Never
Antonio
really
Garcia,
played.
another unfortunate tale. I can't really fault them in the sense of, like, you know, both those guys had just awful things happen to them. Like, Garcia had health issues and it just tanked his career. He lost a lot of weight. He couldn't regain form. It sucks. In the 4th round, hey, here's a good pick. They select with the 131st pick, Dietrich Wise.
Now a team captain.
That's a good pick. In the 6th round, 211th overall, they select Connor McDermott, tackle.
From 6th rounder, you can't complain. You can't complain.
Yeah, could be better. Could be worse. So, what would you say the 2017 draft was?
It's an F.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's a D. It's a D plus because you got Dietrich Wise. You whiffed on your first 2 picks, and again, you started in the 3rd round.
Circumstances, but
you started in the 3rd round, and you get 2 bad lucks of the draw with those 2. Yep. Derek Rivers didn't pan out like he thought he would. Antonio Garcia gets blood clots and never makes it. But Dietrich Wise, solid player, D plus.
Yeah. 2018, you had 2 first-round picks. One was from the Brandon Cooks trade. One was just from your own first-round pick.
And again, with 2 first-round picks, these are guys that you should have given a second contract to. They should have played up to your expectations. You give them that second deal. They are main staples of this franchise 5 years later. Sit the window dressing. Go ahead.
With the 23rd overall pick, the New England Patriots select Isaiah Wynn. Now, Wynn tore his Achilles.
He sucked.
Year, but
brutal.
This is a guy that, he ended his Patriots career a not so liked man, honestly. Not a lot of Patriots fans really liked him. Now, who you could have had with that pick are 2 stud receivers. You talk about the lack of firepower. You could have had Calvin Ridley or DJ Moore with that pick. And the thing is, you trade away Brandon Cooks. And in the 2018, the first few weeks, what did the offense really lack? They lacked firepower. They're waiting on Edelman. They traded for Josh Gordon. They took a lottery ticket, swing on Josh Gordon. And it worked, but Josh Gordon, with the most due respect, is not a reliable presence. Never was.
He didn't finish that season, remember?
Yep. So you could have had Calvin, and I know Calvin Ridley had the whole suspension for gambling and stuff like that, but it's not like you knew that about him. And DJ Moore is a stud. That's a 26-year-old stud receiver.
Yep.
With the 31st overall pick, the New England Patriots select Sony Michel. I know you love Sony Michel, Caleb.
He sucked. He absolutely sucked. I hated it on draft day. You gave it a B plus. I said it was an F from day one.
Sony Michel looked much better. You know what?
Not only was it a running back in the first round, where you could have gotten 14 of them, rounds later, you took the worst Georgia running back.
I think what's funny, though, is It was actually a lot closer on draft day, but yeah, man, it's not looking good.
I didn't think it was close.
Knee issues.
I didn't think it was close at all.
Oh no, it was.
And by the way, remember when we first started this page, we got in trouble for posting this photo of Sony Michel during COVID out at a strip club without a mask. People ripped us for that, but he didn't really play the rest of that season, and he was quickly off the team in 2021. We traded him to the Rams for like a fourth?
They got like a couple picks out of that.
Sony Michel was a bad pick. Don't tell me about his rookie postseason numbers. Rex Burkhead could have done that. F.
Respect Rex Burkhead.
F.
All right, in the second round, here's another F pick. Duke Dawson.
F.
I believe they traded up to get him.
Quickly traded to Denver.
Trash. He wasn't a good player. Fifth round, Jawan Bentley.
Ooh, for a fifth rounder, that's an A.
Yeah, great pick. Sixth round, Christian Sam. Never did anything.
F. DNF. Did not finish.
Yeah. Braxton Berrios.
I love him, but you didn't keep him. You didn't keep him, so that's an F on you. You didn't keep him. He's a solid slot receiver now in Miami, and he was a great slot receiver with the Jets. He won All-Pro kick returner in 2021. If you really want to talk about Wolszewski, no, Braxton was just good. F.
Yeah.
F on the Patriots.
Seventh round, Danny Etling. It's the seventh round.
Preseason hero.
Yeah, legend. Keon Crossan. He wasn't a bad special teamer, but you got rid of him like a year later.
F.
So, Ryan Izzo, seventh rounder, terrible football player.
D- because he did play a little bit in 2019.
That was out of just kind of the fact that,
like, I didn't think he was horrible, but in 2020 he was horrible. So
now,
D-.
Can I just bring up in 2018? This is what they should have did in New England. You trade up for Duke Dawson. You should have traded up much sooner and got Dallas Goedert, knowing that you were wanting Gronk out at the time.
Yep.
That would help out the offense quite a bit.
Yep. When we're done with this exercise, I want to touch on a little bit of something that can kind of relate to that. But go ahead.
Anyway, moving on to 2019. And here's this is where
the biggest blunder.
With the 32nd overall pick, the New England Patriots select N'Keal Harry.
F. And you know why? Not only because N'Keal Harry sucked. Here's a list of receivers that went after him. Right off the top of my head. I swear to God, there's no notes in front of me. I know this list off the top of my head. Maybe not in order, but A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. Who am I missing?
McCole Hardman, Paris Campbell.
McCole Hardman, yeah.
They're better players at least.
Those are the main ones. A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
Passed on all of them. Unbelievable. F. F minus. If I could give it any lower than F, I would. Keep it going.
Yeah. Z. Yeah, it's... And listen, Deebo Samuel was the perfect Patriots fit, in my opinion. And here's the problem with Bill Belichick as a GM. And this is what I've always said. And this is going to be a broader point here about scouting and stuff. When your head coach is also your GM, the thing is about scouting is you limit your window because you're too busy in the NFL season to go turn on a college game on Saturday and say, oh, hey, this guy's looking pretty good. You're fucking game planning. So Belichick relied a lot on word of mouth. And the two guys at Arizona State, Herman Edwards and the previous coach, Todd Graham, I believe are both close to Bill Belichick. They told Belichick, hey, draft our guy. Trust us. This guy's good. He's a beast. And so he relied on connections to make that pick. And it burned him Listen to your scouts. Apparently, the scouts are wanting Deebo Samuel and A.J. Brown. You got burned because you took the word of mouth from your friends. And the thing is that college coaches, you can't really take their word because their job is to look as good as possible. They want to make money. They want more guys to come to their program. They want to use hey, we got this guy drafted first round. Hey, this is our prestige. This is our legacy. Look, teams like the New England Patriots are drafting these guys. So come play for us. We'll get you drafted by a team like the Patriots. And it shows just in the drafting from Belichick that a lot of these picks that come from his buddies, they're all kind of flops because he's getting punked by these used car salesmen that are saying, "Hey, buy my fucking Honda Civic with like 200,000 miles on it." I'm sorry, like that's the car breaks down upon pulling it out the lot. It's I don't know how else to put it, man. So I look at the N'Keal Harry pick. You got duped by 2 used car salesmen. And then
that draft isn't great either.
Your next pick, you go for, oh, hey, this is a scheme fit. We need big press man cornerbacks. Who do you draft? You draft Jawan Williams. You trade up for Jawan Williams.
B-.
I've given it an F.
No, because he actually did play. He actually did play. Therefore, he has a D-.
You talk about how much you hated the Sonny Michel pick, right? I remember they drafted Jawan Williams and traded up to draft him. I fucking screamed. I was infuriated. I hated that pick. 3rd round, I actually like this pick. Chase Winovich.
F.
But yeah, you didn't give him a second contract. You traded him out the door for Mac.
He sucked. He sucked here.
His rookie year is really good. Every other year, ugh,
fine.
Trash.
D. You can give him a D.
3rd round as well. Damian Harris.
B+.
Running back, but
B+. But you didn't. B+. I would say that you didn't give him a second contract, but he's a running back. B+. B+.
3rd round, Yannick Kajust. Now I remember I remember a lot about Yannick Kajust. I thought this was a steal of a pick at the time because he was supposed to be a 1st round draft pick. Unfortunately, it's an F. This guy barely played. He's had knee issues and stuff like that. He's been kind of a ghost. F. 4th round, Yelda Froholt. The guard from Denmark? I want to say from Denmark. He's in the NFL right now. He's a starter, I believe, for Houston.
So that's an F on us.
Yeah. 4th round, Jarrett Stidham. This is a quarterback that, despite all the troubles you saw from Cam Newton in 2020, could not see the field.
That should tell you something about Stidham there. Yeah.
Yeah. 5th round, Byron Cowart. I believe he's still in the league right now. He's not really a good player.
I thought he was a real high upside player when we took him.
Yeah, he was the number 1 ranked guy in his recruiting class.
It sounded like he was going to be like another Jerry Tillery type, but didn't play.
Yeah, well, Jerry Tillery, that's a bomb as well. 5th round, Jake Bailey, punter.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good that rookie year. Yeah.
And then what happened?
F.
Yeah. 7th round, Ken Webster. I mean, Ken Webster only played till 2020. So
DNF.
Yeah, just whatever. 2020. 2nd round pick, Kyle Duggar.
A.
However, he's in the contract year.
I don't think we're going to pay him either.
Yep. If they do, well, hey, there we go. We got a guy. We kept him. 2nd round, Josh Uche.
B. Could be a B+.
Yeah. Are you going to keep him? I don't know.
Yeah, if you keep him, it goes down to like a C-. If you don't keep him, it's a C-, yeah.
3rd round, Anthony Jennings.
B.
He's been fine. Yeah. 3rd round, Devin Asiasi.
F.
You traded up for him. Third round, you traded up for this guy as well, Dalton Keene.
F minus.
F. Fifth round, Justin Rohrwasser.
F.
F.
All of his kicks were wide right. Go.
Yeah. He only made 3% of his kicks.
Yeah.
Sixth round, Michael Onwenu. A+.
A+.
However, here's the problem. This is a stud player, and I've criticized him earlier in the show because he hasn't been playing his best ball. This was a guy, though, that you should have gave a contract extension to this offseason. You don't let a player like that walk out the door, especially in O-line. And he's without a contract right now. It's an A+ pick. If you lose him, shame on you at this point, unless like some team throws him just a ridiculous contract that you can't match. Sixth round, Justin Herron. He's still in the league,
but he's doing stuff in Vegas. So yep. C-.
Justin Herron revenge game on Sunday.
Yep.
Sixth round, Cash Malawai. I mean, he played till 2020.
Incomplete.
Yeah. Seventh rounder, Dustin Woodard. He never played a game. I remember he retired or something, and then he tried coming back, and the Patriots cut him, and just incomplete. Whatever. No, there's nothing to say.
All right, 2021. Let's fly through these next three.
Yep. Mac Jones. 15th
overall. Oh boy, that's the controversial one. Oh boy. If it's an F, it's not his fault.
Rookie year, it was looking like an A.
If it's an F, it's because you didn't keep him because he wasn't good enough, and because he wasn't good enough, it was your fault. F.
Yeah. As of now, it's looking like an F, but it's F for you failed him.
Yep.
Second round, Christian Barmore.
B+.
Probably their most inconsistent player.
B+.
Yeah. It should be an A+, but
you gotta get him on the right day. Gotta get him on the right day. Yeah.
Third round, Ronnie Perkins. This is a guy I thought was gonna be a steal. F. He's on the Broncos now.
What?
Yeah.
I thought he was still around here.
Or he's with the Broncos.
I thought he was still around here. F-.
Yeah, they signed him off our practice squad.
Maybe
Fourth
they'll use
round,
him.
Ramondre Stevenson.
He's a running back. A.
But how effective has Ramondre Stevenson been this season?
Not great.
He's been a ghost. However, it is also just a reality that running backs are pretty dependent on their O-lines.
Yep.
Fifth round, Cam McGrone. I liked him a lot.
F.
Didn't play for New England. Believe he's with the Colts right now, if I remember correctly. Sixth round, Joshua Bledsoe. Has not been good. I think he caught him.
Incomplete. We can't see him.
Yeah. Sixth round, William Sherman.
Big Sherm. I. Incomplete.
Trey Nixon, seventh round.
F.
He was dropped the dime from Malik Cunningham. Fuck him.
Listen, I mean,
Fox number is rookie year.
He's a training camp preseason warrior.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
He's the 7-on-7 king.
Yeah. Next.
2022, Cole Strange, round one.
God, that's looking like a C-.
I thought, honestly, I hated the pick at the time, and then I looked into it. I'm like, okay, this might be a quality player. He's been bad. And you reached hard for him.
It's a C-. If he continues and you don't keep him, it's a F.
Yeah. Round two, Tyquan Thornton.
F.
It's looking like an F so far. Hasn't played.
He's coming back. He just got activated off of IR yesterday.
Yep. And listen, some people are talking about, well, like you might bring speed or whatever to the offense. Listen, if you're banking on Tyquan Thornton to be the fucking hero, I got a beach house in Montana to sell you. Third round, Marcus Jones. Great player.
A+.
However,
but he's hurt.
Same with Jack Jones.
Yeah. Jack Jones on top of other things. Yep.
Hurt.
Next.
And also maybe an idiot. Fourth round, Bailey not Bailey Zappi just yet. Pierre Strong. You traded him for Tyrone Wheatley. So F. Or it's an F for you. And if he looks great in Cleveland, once again, shame on you.
How is Wheatley?
Hasn't really played.
F. Next.
The ghost. 4th round, Bailey Zappi.
He's a fine backup. C.
Yeah. He'll make a lot of money over his career because people like him in the locker room, all that shit, yada, yada, yada. He sucks at football. 6th round, Kevin Harris. He's on your practice squad. You haven't really seen much from him. Incomplete. 6th round, Sam Roberts. This is a player I actually like.
I haven't seen him.
He's kind of been thrown in starting lineups a little bit. I like him, but is he a game wrecker? No.
So he's like a B+ for a 6th round pick.
For a 6th rounder, it's like a C+, B- type thing. If he's a stud, then hey, good pick. Jason Hines, 6th rounder. He's with Miami now.
F.
Andrew Stuber, 7th round. He's bad.
F-.
He was really bad in the preseason, and I don't know. Bad player. And then we're at this year. 2023, Christian Gonzalez.
A+, but yeah, that could turn around quickly. Next.
Yep. And he's got a torn up shoulder now, unfortunately. 2nd round, Keon White.
That looks good. Let's keep it going. B+.
Yep. Marte Mapu, 3rd round.
I. Incomplete. Haven't seen him.
Yep. 4th round, Jake Andrews, offensive lineman.
Haven't seen him. I.
Yep. 4th round, Chad Ryland, kicker.
C.
He's been yeah. 4th round, Sidi Sow, offensive lineman.
Incomplete, but I'm leaning towards a D. He's not good.
Yeah. 5th round, Antonio Maffi. Hasn't been
leaning
good.
Towards a D. He's not good.
6th round, Keishawn Butte. I. You haven't really played him. In his first game, he couldn't get his toes down, but that's a talented player. Would actually like to see more Keishawn Butte if we're going to try to find anything at this point. 6th round, Bryce Behringer, punter.
C.
Yeah. 6th rounder, Demario Douglas.
I.
But he has a lot of talent. 6th rounder, Amir Speed.
I haven't seen him.
He's been kind of just special teams, whatever. 7th rounder, Isaiah Bolden. He had the unfortunate injury in preseason.
That everybody thought was COVID related. Anyway,
but
yeah. So I think
show.
Go ahead.
How bad the drafting has been.
A lot of the early picks.
A lot of quality.
A lot of the early picks aren't here anymore.
Yeah, and listen, you're not going to bat 1,000 during the draft. That's fucking impossible. Some guys miss. Like even in the peak Patriot drafting years, there were still some misses. It happens. But when you're missing a lot more than you're hitting, that's a problem. And you look at some of the best drafting teams in the league. Look at some of the best rosters in football. Look at like Philadelphia. You look at San Francisco. You look at Kansas City. All these elite cream of the crop teams. Baltimore when they're fucking healthy. Like Miami. These are all teams that draft really well, and they draft to their they draft to their strengths. They draft based on an identity that is innovative and modern towards what they want to achieve. New England's strategy is we're just going to draft guy that he plays rough and tumble rumble football, or I like him and all that stuff. He's got good intangibles, blah 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 blah. Or my buddy sold me a lemon out of college, and he this guy plays good football because my buddy says he plays good football. No, fuck all that. All these teams that draft well, they actually have really good scouting departments and stuff like that as well. They listen to their scouts. They make good decisions.
The scouts loved AJ Brown, and we went with N'Keal Harry.
Scouts love Deebo Samuel too.
I think the story is that McDaniels wanted AJ Brown. A lot of the scouting department was Deebo, AJ Brown. Casario said N'Keal Harry. Bill Belichick said N'Keal Harry. And guess what you got? N'Keal Harry.
Two bosses.
But you said something about the Gronk thing with Dallas Goedert in 2019, 2018, whatever draft that was.
2018.
This really ties into a broader point that I want to make. Succession plans. Bill Belichick has always been good about 1 year early, not 1 year late. Let's get a plan in place for when things move on, and when Gronk retired in 2019, we all saw it coming. There was no tight end to wait. There's no tight end waiting in the womb. It was Ryan Izzo, and then they brought in Ben Watson.
They wanted Jared Cook, but Gronk kind of.
Yep, Gronk screwed us out of that.
Gronk for that. That was, you waited a little too long to retire there.
And this goes all the way to the quarterback situation. And to Bill's credit, he did have a plan. It was too early. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo waiting in the rings. Waiting in the what's the word? Waiting in the wings. Waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
Okay. He's waiting in the wings for Brady to retire. The 4 years played out. Brady still wanted to play. You had to move on from Jimmy.
Brady was still Brady.
Yeah. So. And when you eventually let Brady walk, you didn't have a plan. You didn't go right back into the 2018 draft and say, okay, who's a quarterback we can draft? Like Lamar Jackson, who went at pick 32. 2019 was a bad rookie class. Not going to fault for it. 2020, there was a real opportune succession plan, but you kind of it was a weird situation. And this compiles with all of the other positions. There was no succession plan for Stephon Gilmore. You had to wait 2 years to find Christian Gonzalez, who's now hurt. There was no succession plan for name an edge rusher who we had. Trey Flowers. There was no plan for Trey Flowers, and you finally got lucky with Josh Uche. For wide receivers, there was no succession plan for after Julian Edelman. There was no succession plan after Brandon Cooks. There was no plan. Like I said, there was no plan at all, and it's got to be infuriating.
Another point I want to make quickly: in 2020, you lose Tom Brady, right? And you say, okay, well, our quarterbacks are what, Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer or whatever,
and they were content with that.
Yeah.
Until
here's the thing: in the 2020 draft,
June. Until June, they were not. They were content. Yeah.
Or I believe you traded up for Uche or whatever. I forget what it was.
You traded up for Uche.
There was a quarterback there, a top 10 quarterback in the league, maybe top 5, depending on who you ask, and Jalen Hurts available. Someone that fit your scheme. Someone that, and listen, I talk about the word of mouth stuff and all that shit, right? Nick Saban,
Bama.
Coached up by Lincoln Riley, a damn good quarterback coach there. He's known for developing quarterbacks. He does a good job at it. You had Jalen Hurts available to you. And while I like Kyle Duggar a lot, and Josh Uche I liked him as a prospect, but
little underwhelming.
You needed a quarterback.
Yeah.
You had a guy that, when you think about alpha dogs, right? You think about guys with great leadership, can just get the room to rally behind them. Hey, we're not going to tolerate this shit. I look at Jalen Hurts. One of the best leaders in football, in my opinion. Just someone that everybody loves. Everybody has loved him from the day he stepped on Alabama's campus and started as an 18-year-old true freshman. You had the chance to get that guy and add him to your room. And let's say he doesn't pan out in New England, but you know what? Once again, a lot of development is kind of on you as well. And it kind of gets to a further point of, you brought up succession plans as well. Development's so fucking key. The coaching has not been up to snuff. It hasn't. It's been terrible.
Who's the last first round pick the Patriots had that they developed very well and gave a second contract to? Early pick. First rounder. Let's call it first rounder. First rounders alone.
You'd have to probably go back to Hightower.
Chandler Jones. Hightower. 2013. Who was the first round pick then? Did we have one?
They had 2 second round picks: Jamie Collins, Aaron Dobson.
So it's really been about a decade.
Yeah.
2014. Dominic Easley.
Years.
Dominic Easley. 2014. 2015. You didn't have one.
2015. Malcolm Brown. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kind of a mediocre player. Yeah. So it's been a decade since you've been able to develop one of these high-end players, like truly high-end, first-round.
In 2012, you hit 2 grand slams, and now we can talk about like obviously Chandler Jones. The whole situation with him is a little weird, but at the time, as a player, him and Dante Hightower
had an excellent decade-long career, future Patriot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Super Bowl legend, literal
playoff Dante,
like, superhero in the playoffs. You got 2 winners there.
I have the contracts lined up that you asked me to bring up, but I think the draft we really hit it home here. I can't. If you want to talk about like big money free agents that we screwed up, Antonio Brown in 2019, that was stupid. Shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I think that was a Brady kind of like get me a guy, and yeah,
we're not very we don't hit home often on the free agency market. But if you want to talk about the spending spree in 2021, I'm happy to talk about that with you.
That's what I kind of wanted you to bring up. Like,
okay. Kendrick Bourne, we gave a 3-year, $50 million day deal, iced out of the offense, yada yada. We know the deal. Nelson Aguilar, you didn't keep him after 2 years because he sucked.
Trash.
Donna
Smith, $48 million. Might as well just like take that $48 million and light it on fire.
Traded to Atlanta. Devon Godshaw's worked out. I'll give you credit for that.
So I actually saw this. Devon Godshaw is the 2nd worst defensive tackle in the NFL via PFF.
Oh, wow.
30. He has a 30 PFF grade.
Oh, wow.
He's the worst run defending defensive tackle in the league right now.
Raekwon McMillan, we gave a deal to, and we keep giving him a deal, and he keeps walking around. That 21 spending spree didn't work out. And then you want to talk about this year's free agents? Juju Smith-Schuster. You traded him. You basically traded him for Jacoby Myers.
Bust.
For basically basically the same deal. Bad. So, yeah, I think really the whole thing I want to hone in was the succession plans. We talked about it. The draft. The draft, I think, is far more telling than the free agency because, listen, we've never been a team that hits the home runs in free agency. We win on the margins, just like we do on trades. And there are a couple players on the margins that we have here that look like they can play pretty well on the margins. But like, there's no home run hitters. You're not hitting your first round picks. This is what happens.
Yeah, it's homegrown talent. But I do think when they do get now Belichick and like you said, when it comes to spending the margins, excellent at it. Like they'll go get like Adrian Phillips for like $2 million a year. Incredible. But then you look at everything else and it's like when they actually spend money, they're like drunken sailors. It's a lot of like lighting money on fire. Even like Hunter Henry, who's been fine, he's been good, but like you gave that guy the bag, and it's just like, is he a world beater? Because you're kind of giving him world beater money for the tight end position, and he's not really a world beater. Mm-hmm. Mike Gesicki, who you signed as well, not really anything to write home about. He's been, Jonnu Smith, like I said, $48 million, and you didn't really deploy him properly much to begin with. You're like, you're lighting money on fire. Nelson Aguilar got like what, $15 million a year or something like that, or like the contract went to like $15 million a year and you couldn't move off it. That guy was sucked. Kendrick Bourne, you got good value. What happened? You froze him out, and now he kind of just hasn't been the same guy, really. Who else am I trying? Gotcho. Like I said, worst defensive tackle in football right now, or one of the second worst or the worst. Matt Judon, great signing. You look at like Stephon Gilmore as well in 2017. Like the Patriots also kind of had this spree in 2017 where they were just like, let's go. We're throwing money at this. We're trading for this. We're doing this, that. We're loading up. We have all this cap space. And, it's like you trade a second round pick for Coney Ely. What happens there? Nothing. You trade picks for Dwayne Allen.
Michael Bennett.
What Dwayne Allen give you? Yeah.
Michael Bennett.
You signed Stephon Gilmore at $65 million. Great signing the first 4 weeks. you almost fucked it because you were playing him in zone the entire time. You got an elite man coverage corner. You're like, okay, Stephon, you're going to play zone. Like, what the hell are we doing? It's so much like lighting money on fire, lighting assets on fire, poor drafting, and it leads to a point where now, did I think the Patriots roster was this bad? No, but it goes to show how much of a like how poor drafting and all these poor decisions and lighting money on fire and all this shit just leads to an underwhelming team. And even before the season, like before all this debacle, the Patriots weren't necessarily like world beaters to begin with. Their ceiling was, hey, we're 6th seed, 7th seed, which is fine. But like, if your ceiling is, hey, we're just gonna make it to the wild card round and we'll figure it out when we get there. No, fuck all that. You were once a franchise that was like, it's Super Bowl or bust. We're here for Lombardis. Any year that we don't win a Lombardi, it's a failure.
Well, also those expectations are with Tom Brady.
Yeah, and now we can talk about like the fact that like we're looking at. I think Brady was obviously a lot more of the bus driver, I'd say here, than Bill Belichick was, and I think it's proof in Tampa, winning a Super Bowl there.
Well, again, those aspirations are attainable when you have Tom Brady, and you can do that year after year after year.
It's the mind. And
what do we have now that can really say that we're Super Bowl contenders?
Nobody. And
so that leads me.
Just one last point to make quickly. And this is a quote I love from my favorite. You got your Bruins hoodie on. It's from one of my favorite hockey coaches ever, John Tortorella. He said in a pregame before one of the biggest upsets in NHL history, forget about skills, forget about X's and O's. It's a mindset of fucking believing. That's what the Tom Brady era had. It was the mindset of belief that, hey, it didn't matter what kind of roster you put out there. We're fucking better than you. We believe we're better than you. We're going to put in the work to show we're better than you. And it's why you would see any of these magical comebacks, because they had a bunch of guys that believed in themselves, a bunch of dogs, a bunch of guys that gave a fuck every single goddamn day. We're putting in the work, and then we're going to put in then some to ensure that our end goal is a Lombardi. I look at the New England Patriots right now, and I brought this up earlier when I talked about the game. I don't see anybody out there that believes in themselves, really. There's a few players in the defense, sure. Offensively, nobody believes in themselves.
They're walking on eggshells.
It's a lack of belief. It's a lack of fire. It's a lack of everything. It's a shit roster. It's a shit show situation. I've been holding all this in kind of like in sense of like trying not to snap and rage about the state of this organization. I've been very calm. It's a fucking joke the way the New England Patriots play. This is not the Patriots football I grew up on. And people are going to say, well, you're spoiled, all that shit. I don't care.
We are. We're a little spoiled.
But you know what? If I see 20 years of greatness and all of a sudden I'm being served 1-star meals, I'm going to say the 1-star meals fucking suck. Don't blame me. Blame the fucking shitty chefs in the kitchen. I'm sorry. It's a fucking joke. You're arguably the biggest joke in football right now. I never thought I'd say that about the Patriots in my life. You're a joke.
No, Chad Finn, our friend that came on the show a couple of weeks ago, back in the preseason, about before week 1, he wrote that the inevitable has become reality. The Patriots stink.
Yeah.
You're
like the Washington Commanders. You're like the Chicago Bears.
You don't write that headline 10 years ago.
You're like the New York Jets. You're like the fucking Jets. You're like the New York Giants right now. You guys suck. I'm sorry. I've been holding that in, but it's. What do you want me to say outside of like, you go from being served 5-star meals to fucking shit on a plate. It's like the fucking South Park episode where like they're putting boogers in your fucking meals. I won't go further on that, but it's garbage.
So that leads us to the $1 million question that Jeff Howe floated. How realistic is it that Bill Belichick is fired if this team goes 6-11? Because I think bottoming out would shock me.
I think if you're top 5 pick, bye.
Top 5
fired. Pick. Vince McMahon, you're fired. It's now 6-11 type. Like it depends on how. Here's the thing. It depends on the stretch. Now you're at rock bottom. I'd say this is rock bottom right now. 72-3 over the last 2 games. Rock bottom. How are you gonna fix it? We're in week 5. We got 18 weeks in the season. You got 13 more weeks to go.
We're a third of the way through.
But you're also 1-4, and your schedule does not get easier. It actually gets harder. How are you going to fix it? And that's what I think. If I'm Robert Kraft, I'm looking at it like, Bill Belichick, how are you going to fix this mess that you created?
Through everything we just talked about for the last almost hour.
Yeah. How are you going to fix it? If you can't fix it, if you still look like donkey shit come fucking December, sorry, Bill, bye. Thank you for the 22 years or whatever, 23 years. But it's a business. How many more years can we say, well, like you're chasing Shula and you've built up all this goodwill and all this blah, 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 when the football team's a joke? I'm sorry, like,
So you don't think it's out of the question?
I think if you're terrible in December, you're fired. Like you're fired. I think it's very realistic because I think Kraft's an old man. This isn't like a 55-year-old Robert Kraft or whatever. He's in his 80s. How much more can he tolerate this shit? Where he's like, listen, I'm gonna die soon. I was a diehard New England Patriots fan. I'm spending all this, I got billion, I'm putting all this money into this team and all this yada, yada, yada. And this is the product I'm getting.
Coming into this episode, I wasn't sure how much stock I put into the Belichick fired conversation, but through 2 weeks of this, if he keeps up the rest of the year, I don't know how you could not at least take it seriously.
And just one last point I'd like to make.
Okay.
I think we're headed towards a long rebuild. That's bleak.
We've been putting it off.
And I'm okay with that, honestly. I would prefer it at this point. I want a cleansing of the organization. From top to bottom. Management. Honestly, I don't know if I keep any of the coaches, really. And I like Gerard Mayo. I wouldn't shock me if he's the future. Gerard, move on. Go find greener grass elsewhere. I like you a lot. I think you need to clean out the New England Patriots organization in the sense of everything about it stinks. Your roster stinks, your coaching stinks, your management stinks. It needs a whole fix. And that's bleak, man.
But with that, let's talk about some teams that aren't so bleak. As usual, there's a lot going on in the NFL. The Detroit Lions look like a legit force in the NFC, but are the 49ers the best team in football today? What is the state of the Minnesota Vikings after superstar wide receiver Justin Jefferson goes on injured reserve? And we got the trade deadline coming up in a couple weeks. What are the best rumors that are going around as the deadline approaches at the end of the month? Everything is on the table, Ryan. Let's just kick it to you.
So I would say the things I'd like to talk about in the NFL right now. One, I'd have to start with how awesome Brock Purdy has been versus the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, just in general this season, he's looking like a potential MVP winner, which who would have thought for Mr. Irrelevant, right? What a career. And I know people are going to talk about, well, like San Francisco's system is really QB friendly and yada, yada, which sure, yeah, I agree. But I watched the way Brock Purdy plays, and I see a guy that does truly get the most out of his abilities. He's a really smart passer. He doesn't make mistakes. He's really smart with reading the defense. I swear he's always finding the open guy. Like, how often?
Because the guys are always open.
Yeah, sure. But that's the mark of a quarterback, right? You still got to hit these guys. There's a reason why Nick Mullins isn't like the 49ers starting QB right now. I look at it, I see a guy that I thought it was a fluke at first. I thought, okay, there's no way he's sustaining this. There's no way. I think I'm wrong. I think Brock Purdy's the truth, man. Now, will he be a superstar? I don't know.
You put him in New England, how is he?
Probably not as good.
Not good at all, maybe?
Probably Bailey. I wouldn't say Bailey Zappi level, but like
somewhere in between.
I also do think, though, that there's a lot to like about Brock Purdy, just in general, as like a person, as a leader. The 49ers room loves the guy, and you can tell he wears his heart out in his sleeve every time he goes out there and plays. And it goes back to the dog thing I talk about with the New England Patriots and all that stuff. Brock plays with passion, man. This is a guy that, like, it's sort of almost like mentality-wise, kind of like a Brady Jr. thing. Now, obviously, he's not Brady. He's not as physically gifted as Brady. He's in a much more offensive-friendly system than Brady. But the mentality he has, where it's the mindset of belief and the confidence to go out there, make the right decisions, slice and dice defenses. Don't be afraid to make the right decisions, even if it isn't as pretty. And it's no wonder why San Francisco is just massacring teams. Now, would they be doing the same at Garoppolo? They would probably be winning a lot of games at Garoppolo. But honestly, Kaleb, I'm sorry, man. I think Purdy's a better quarterback than Garoppolo is in that system. They're looking way better. My second point I'd like to make are the Minnesota Vikings. Tank. Please tank. Trade Kirk Cousins somewhere else and tank. Accept fate. You guys aren't really all that good. And now Justin Jefferson, who's without a contract, mind you, is out with a hamstring injury. He might be out for much longer. At what point do you guys throw in the towel and just say, hey, trade Kirk Cousins, let's get some assets.
I think that's what that move kind of signifies, that they've thrown in the towel.
Yeah. We're going to go out and get Caleb Williams or Drake May. And I know, Kaleb, you like the Vikings quite a bit. I have some friends that are Vikings fans. Shout out my guy, No Fist, Travis, my guy.
He watches.
I would like to see Minnesota with a defined franchise quarterback for once. They need it. And I think a future offense where it's like Caleb Williams or Drake May, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. That's a lot of fun. Kirk Cousins is 35. He's a free agent at the end of the year. Move on. And my last point I'd like to make are about the Baltimore Ravens. I thought Lamar Jackson's going MVP. Lamar Jackson is not the problem in Baltimore. Not even close.
I think most people would tell you that.
Yeah. But I watched the game, like bits and pieces of the game on Sunday. Lamar Jackson had one of the best games ever for a no touchdown, one interception performance. Like, he was the highest graded quarterback from PFF type grade. Like, and you look back and watch it, everybody's dropping stuff. Guys aren't where they're supposed to be. Nelson Aguilar, a guy we were ripping on, dropped the fucking touchdown. I'm pretty sure that would have been a touchdown.
Happened to us a couple times too.
Yep. Terrible player. The most due respect, just terrible hands. Odell Beckham, I'm sorry, Odell. It's time to be a family man. You're a really special player in your prime, but it ain't 2014 anymore. The days of the catch are long gone. Zay Flowers is really good, but can Zay Flowers be your catalyst? I don't know. Rashad Bateman's been a massive disappointment. Mark Andrews. I haven't heard much of Mark Andrews this year. What's he been doing?
He's been maybe on and off the injured report.
Yeah. I thought Lamar was going to win MVP because I believe in the guy. And I still believe in the guy. And I thought the Ravens are going to be much better than what they are. But they've been kind of just bleh. Like this is a team that should be much better than what they are, and the quarterback's giving them everything he can possibly give them, and they're still just bleh.
That division's been upside down. That division's been upside down this year.
Yeah, the AFC North's been wonky.
Which is, I think it's good. I think I like that division being wonky. Things I want to talk about. The Chargers fired Brandon Staley immediately. He's not a good coach. The Bills.
Even on a bye week, fuck Brandon Staley.
The Bills, like I said, they are a vulnerable team. They continue to be a vulnerable team. They just got beat by Jacksonville in London. And again, I know that Jacksonville maybe had a little bit of advantage having that week there. But I don't know, man. Not a buyer in the Bills. I'm not. Until they pummel me in next week.
Yeah.
And the New York Giants, maybe the worst team in football right now. Maybe the worst.
Yeah.
They're bad. They're very, very bad. Shout out to Zach Wilson continuing his kind of, oh my God, he can actually play quarterback kind of run. Did it against some bad defenses, but what are you going to do? Trying to think. The Rams, they look good. Rams look good. Gave Philly that first loss, but I don't know. The league this year has been kind of weird, and maybe I'm just kind of sucked out of it because, oh my God, the Patriots are horrible. But yeah, it's been a weird year of football. We'll see how this ends up.
Yeah.
But let's get to our Patriots Raiders preview. Keep it short, keep it sweet. We got picks. We got to hurry. The Patriots are traveling to Vegas to take on the familiar foe and Josh Daniels and the Raiders. They've got some known faces all over that roster with quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, wide receiver Jacoby Myers, running back Brandon Bolden, fullbacks Jacob Johnson, and offensive tackles Justin Herron and Jermaine Illuminor. The Raiders beat us last year in heartbreaking fashion, where Jacoby Myers basically ensured that he was getting a contract from the Raiders the following year. The most heartbreaking play in NFL history, in my opinion. How do the Patriots get back on track here and steal a win in the city of sin? 3 keys. I'll go first. I'll be quick, fresh, easy. Get in Garoppolo's face. Get that pressure on him. He's not running around like that anymore. Don't hurt him. For the swear to God, please don't hurt him. Don't hit him high. He's having some issues. He had a concussion. Be easy, but be firm on Garoppolo. Keep an eye out for Devontae Adams, man. I don't know if you have a cornerback to keep up with him anymore. And then on the offense, score some fucking points. I try not to swear too much on here because I want to be a courteous host, but score some goddamn points for the love of God, please. More than 3. Start turning around this 72-3 split and get something on the board. But yeah, those are my 3. Ryan, if you have anything more football IQ friendly, please share.
Don't piss all over your legs. Play a fucking passion. Don't be a bunch of punks out there, as Bill Belichick would say.
Dancing like a bunch of punks out there. I mean, Jesus Christ. 60 minutes of complete defense.
Play with energy. Listen, if they actually show energy out there, and maybe they win, maybe they lose, I don't know, I'll actually come to the podcast a little more enthusiastic. Play with passion. Play like you give a fuck.
Honor. It's about respect.
Seriously, though.
Your family's honor. Your kids' honor.
Hey, listen. Brady's in the Brady might be in the building.
Oh,
maybe
God.
Get Tom to come give a speech.
No, Tom's not talking to us. Tom's not talking to us.
Robert Kraft. Pull some weight, buddy. Get Tommy in the room. Shit. Maybe Tom Brady comes out like Stone Cold Steve Austin and rips up the Raiders contract he had with the ownership and throws for 4 touchdowns. By God, that's Tom Brady's music. That's the key to winning. We get Tom Brady.
In Tom Brady's music, public service announcement by Jay-Z.
Yeah. Allow me to reintroduce
myself. My name is Hove.
Oh. H to the O. Yeah,
love that song.
It's a classic.
Shout out to Jay-Z, the greatest of all time.
He's certainly great, man. Yeah. Those are my keys. Get Tom Brady back. Play with passion.
Give us something to talk about on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Make me wake up on Monday morning with a smile on my face.
Let's have Ryan text me on Monday saying he's excited to do the show instead of texting me.
Not sending you EPA graphs saying we're a fucking clown show.
And then saying, why did we start the podcast in the team's most miserable season? Yeah. And again, I will say it live on air. This was your idea.
Hey, I'm an idiot some days. I'm the same idiot that thought the Packers are going to the NFC North, and now I'm looking like a total jackass.
Oh, yeah, you jackass. I said Minnesota. I am a jackass.
I bought into the hype.
I said Minnesota, but how could you not? With how well they did last year and an improved defensive coordinator, how could you not? But not to get back to the NFL Roundtable.
We're not Foxboro Beat anymore. We're the Lions podcast.
We got Motor City Beat, yeah. The Motor City BeatCast. The MC BeatCast. Oh God, that kind of ties.
Kneecast for breakfast.
That kind of ties into my other nickname with the MC cast. But anyway, we have week 6 picks. In week 5, shout out to me again. I beat Ryan with a score of
I looked at mine.
8-4. You got 4 games right, Ryan.
Tom Brady.
And not to pat myself on the back here, but I did get the score right with a total of 30. But we're on to week 6 with some great games ahead. We got to go quick. Let's get right to it. Thursday night football. Denver is going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Who you got and why?
Kansas City. Denver, listen, I thought Denver was going to be a lot better.
Who did?
Massive upset. They beat Kansas City at this point.
Yeah. Up next, I too took Kansas City. Up next, we got the Ravens. They're going to Tennessee to take on the overachieving Titans, who did not overachieve last week. They lost to the Bengals last week? No, they lost to the Colts. Yeah. Who you got between the Ravens and the Titans in Nashville?
It's in London.
Damn it, it's a London game. My bad. Okay.
9:30. I'll be hungover for that one. I was hungover for the Bills Jaguars one. Give me Baltimore. I believe in Lamar Jackson.
Give me the Titans because it's in London and weird shit happens over there. Up next, the Commanders, after getting spanked on Thursday Night Football last week, they're going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Who you got in that one?
Who cares? No, being serious, give me the Falcons.
Okay, LCO. So the Falcons. Any insight?
No, I don't care. That game is awful.
I took Washington. I think that they're better than what they were on Thursday Night Football.
Oh, are you Sam Howell-pilled now? You're
ripping
on me on Thursday.
No, but the Commanders are better than what they were on Thursday Night Football.
Their defense stinks, man. Their corners are terrible.
Well, good thing the Falcons' offense stinks, so it'll be a fair matchup. Up next, the Vikings. They're going to Chicago to take on the Bears after their big win. Who you got there?
I'm sorry, who is it? The Bears and who?
The Vikings are going to Chicago to take on the Bears.
Oh, fuck. You know what? I'm DJ Moore-pilled. Give me the Bears.
Cousin DJ, yeah.
DJ.
I took the Vikings, but maybe I shouldn't have because now Jettas is on IR. Yeah, I think I have to change that. Give me the Bears. Oh, God. That's going to be a mess. Up next, the Seahawks are going to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Who do you got in that one?
You know what? The Bengals looked a lot better. I'll give you the Bengals.
I, too, am taking the Bengals. They look like they're finally turning it around a little bit.
Healthier, and Chase was killing it.
Up next, the Niners, after dog-walking the Cowboys on primetime, they're going to Cleveland to take on Deshaun Asterisk, not to be mentioned, and the Browns. Who do you got in that one?
He who shall not be named apparently is sitting out in practice again.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. He's been cleared to play too. That might be a situation we got to watch out for. With that being said, give me my boy Brock Purdy, my new king.
Give me the Niners too. They're just that much better. Up next, the Panthers are going to Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins. Who you got in that one?
Miami.
I too have Miami.
Carolina is not good. They need a receiver one there, man.
And let's not discredit Miami. They are really, 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 really good. Straight up.
Somebody say good at football, though. R.I.P. Devon Achane, my fantasy hero.
Yeah,
I'll pour one out for tonight.
Now you got Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert. But we got the Lions. They're going to Tampa to take on the Bucks. Who you got in that one?
I'm lion-pilled, baby. Shout out Tristan. I'm lion-pilled.
I, too, am taking Detroit, but this should be a high-scoring game. Up next, the Jags are hosting the Colts. I can't remember the last time the Colts beat the Jags. I think that trend continues, but do you feel differently after Anthony Richardson goes on IR?
No.
It's a Minshew revenge game, don't you know?
Jaguars winning. Sorry, Trent.
Yeah, we're going to have Trent on the pod. Hell, he's going to be fucking awesome to host. Yeah. Up next, the Saints are going to Houston after their big win against us. They're taking on the Texans and CJ Stroud, probably the rookie of the year. Who you got in that one?
Watch the Texans just beat the shit out of the Saints.
That would make us feel real bad, wouldn't it?
I'm going to take the Texans.
I'm taking the Saints. I think their talent's legit. As long as Carr is healthy, I think they're the better team here. But it should be a really competitive game. The Texans are a lot better than we thought they'd be.
CJ Stroud.
We are going to skip the Patriots in Vegas. Sorry, as I move my charger. The Cardinals are going to Los Angeles to play the Rams. Who you got in that one?
Cardinals playing the Rams. I got the Rams. Shout out my guy, the Puke Man, Puka Nacua. Been a legend this over fantasy, man. What a player.
I'm taking the Rams too. The Cardinals have overachieved, but the Rams are pretty solid. They're solid top to bottom. The Eagles are going. They'd be. The Eagles are going to Jet Life to take on the Jets. I got the Eagles.
Yeah, I got Philly.
Yeah.
That might be an ugly game. I don't know. Philly's really good, but like the Jets make every game ugly.
Yeah, that's how you gotta do when you have a quarterback. The Giants, they're going upstate to take on the Bills. On prime time. Ugh. It's gross.
Oh my god.
That's gross.
I might just do schoolwork during that game. Buffalo.
The Chargers are hosting the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Give me the team that wins and the points.
Okay, I got Dallas winning.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a shit show of a game. Give me 42 points, but there's a lot of just ugliness in it, like just a lot of comedy of errors on both sides.
I think the Cowboys are going to beat the shit out of the Chargers. I got the points at 51. Like, I think it's going to be like a 31-20 kind of game, but it's not going to feel close.
Right.
And finally, we've been talking about it. We need it. We need the Patriots to win here. Ryan, tell me why the Patriots
will lose
to Vegas.
For all the reasons I outlined, nobody on the offense seems to give a shit anymore. The offense is too much of a dysfunctional joke, and the defense eventually it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Eventually, that camel's back is going to break, and we're getting close to it. So yeah, bleak, very bleak,
very bleak. I too am taking the Raiders. I take no joy. Actually, I take a little bit of a joy with the Jimmy Garoppolo actor, but it's mostly heartbreak. It's mostly heartbreak. I am too taking the Raiders. It's going to be like a 13-3 kind of game. It's going to be bad. But is it impossible? No, not at all. Josh McDaniels has been known to give up a time or two. But that's been the Foxboro BeatCast, everybody. I want to thank Ryan for joining me. I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow on Facebook, Instagram, follow us on Twitter, I guess. I mean, wherever you want to talk to us, really, we'll talk to you. Yeah. Thank you for joining this week's episode, and go Pats. Ryan, any last words?
Yeah, I just saw N'Keal Harry just got elevated to the Minnesota Vikings roster. So
again,
replace Justin Jefferson.
Talk
about the biggest downgrade of all time.
Oh boy.
That's all I got, though.
We're praying for Vikings fans, and we're praying for a Patriots win.
Yeah.
I've been Kaleb McChesney. We will see you all next week.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Foxboro BeatCast. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.